Before starting this course on career counseling, it is extremely important to understand why you should take your career choice seriously. In this video, we will help you understand the importance of making the right career choice for yourself. So, why is your career choice so important? It is important because it determines a lot of things in your life, including number 1, quality of life. Your career choice plays a huge role in deciding where you live, how flexible your life is, and the kinds of things you are able to do in your free time. Number 2, identity. Ask any elder person about their career and they will tell you about it as a part of their identity. They'll say something like, I am a journalist, instead of, I report news. Notice how everybody asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And not, what do you want to do when you grow up? This shows that your career choice shapes your identity. Number 3, impact. Every human life touches thousands of other lives in so many different ways. If you select any 60-year-old person who is about to retire, take a time machine, find him as an infant, throw that infant into trash, and then come back to the present day, you'll find that a countless number of things around you have changed. So whatever career you choose, the world will be affected by it. Anything that determines your quality of life, your identity, and the impact that you make should be taken very seriously. And that includes your career choice also. So we hope that this short video could help you understand the importance of making the right career choice. Having done that, we will now move forward to start our career counseling course. We are pretty excited and we hope you are too. So, let's begin. See you.
Yes, guys, we're live.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 89 of Probono's live podcast. Of course, swagat hai. Firstly, to all the audience members, welcome. Thank you for coming in. And of course, Mr. Sen and Aditya, thank you for coming in. And Vinayak for streaming. So, guys, I think this is a very important skill, not just for your career, to get a job at any company, or it's not just about salary. It's not just about having a day job in the morning. It's not about a full-time job. I think we need to address this particular topic or this particular skill and as not just the career skill to get better in your career, get a good salary, get a good life, a family, and whatnot. But I think it's very important to build as a person as a very important life skill. Today we are going to talk about finance as both a profession and a very important life skill. So we'll definitely talk more about that. And to kick off, Mr. Sen, who is an expert in this particular field with lots of experience. I don't think introduction ki zarurat hai. We've been hearing all his takes on everything through the last 90 days. Mr. Sen, over to you if you can give us context to this topic.
Right. Finance. In other words, money matters. That's a simpler way of saying that money matters. Because the moment we say finance, we think of banks and loans and stock markets and so on and so forth. But it's basically dealing with money and money matters. And the crux of the matter is we as individuals, whatever we do and don't do, we have to be aware of money and its matters. So I'll start off with a definition of money. What is money? So let's ask Samant. Samant, what do you think is money?
For my definition of money, I think money is a tool. Money is a tool that gives me the freedom to explore the opportunities in life. That's all I see money as.
Okay. Aditya,
Okay, guys, I just tried searching money on Google and still did not find the definition. The first result that has come up is moneycontrol.com. Great. Thanks, Google.
Oh, there's Aditya copying in the exam.
Right. I tried to, but I was not successful. But yeah, according to me, money is okay. That's a very difficult question. Money is a currency. I think, it can have different currencies, but which helps me, as someone said, to have power to, to get the things which I need and to give something in return for value. So it's almost like it enables exchange of value, if I can say that. Exchange of value, as in I give him money, he gives me something else. That's how. That's my perception of it, Mr. Singh.
Vinayak. Vinayak
Guys, by the time Vinayak speaks up, guys in the audience, मैं चाहता हूँ आप लोग भी अपना definition दे. Full interactive podcast. आज हम एकदम बहुत नॉर्मल चीजें डिस्कस करेंगे लाइफ के बारे में, जो कि मुश्किल है. लाइक व्हाट इज मनी? सो वी डील विद मनी एवरी डे, बट फ्रैंकली व्हेन दिस क्वेश्चन इज आस्क्ड टू मी, आई वाज कंफ्यूज्ड. आई एम प्रीटी श्योर मेनी ऑफ यू आर. सो प्लीज कमेंट इन, आपको क्या लगता है पैसे का डेफिनेशन क्या है आपके हिसाब से? यस विनायक.
Vinayak, what is okay?
Can I read an audience comment here?
Oh, of course.
I just want to say one thing. I don't think the audience was able to hear what Vinayak said. I think Vinayak तुम्हारा mic OBS पे turned off था. I think probably what you can do is join in through your mobile as a secondary device and make that work somehow.
Okay, while Vinay fixes his technical glitches or whatever is to be done. Yeah, Aditya, carry on and read what has been posted.
Yeah, Anita ji says money is a token which buys us things in exchange. And I want other guys to comment in as well. There are a few people watching, so please comment in, guys, if you have any feelings. Money क्या होता है आपके हिसाब से? This is going to be really interesting. Yes, Mr. Sen.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Sen, just a quick thing. Now, this is not my definition. This is what I heard from a person who's actually a millionaire in real life. So this is what she says as to what is money to her. She says money is just the thing that makes your existence easy. Everybody knows you're running towards a dead end. That's, I think, understood. But it just makes your running easier. There's just less obstacles. Now, let's say a rich person is doing
Okay. You don't have to explain. No.
I want to do this metaphor.
No. Definition doesn't have metaphors. Time out. Vinayak.
Yes, sir. So I think I agree with Aditya, sir. I think it is something that helps us exchange other things that we need. Like, in the sense, we're able to exchange value through money. So if I need something and you have it, I would give you money and expect a service or a product from you in return.
Okay. Aditya, you wanted to read something from the audience?
So we haven't probably received another audience comment, but I'll keep reading it out as we receive it. So guys, whoever is watching, please comment in. What do you think money is according to you? Until then, Mr. Sen, please go ahead with what it is according to you. And why did you ask this question, by the way?
Because nobody understands what is money.
That's a great start.
So I was introduced to money, or rather, how to define money. I think on the second class, when I was in the 11th. So in the 11th standard, I think the second or the third class, whatever it is, many years ago, someone came and introduced the concept of money. And it's defined in 4 simple words. It goes something like this. Money is what money does. 5 words. So money is what money does. Now there's a lot of depth in that 5 words. Huh? So if your money doesn't do anything, it's not worth anything. So money is second part of it is we talk about salary, right? So where did salary come from?
Okay, it's rhetoric or do we have to answer?
Right? It's associated. So Samanth, salary kahan se aata hai? Where does salary come from? I mean, it comes from Aditya, I understand that. But where did the concept of salary come from? I'm talking about it in English.
I think the salary, the concept of salary, so I think it just comes from service provided, payment for the service provided.
Good. Vinayak? You're doing better than the money part, huh?
Yeah, I agree.
Vinayak?
Remuneration for some service you have provided.
Okay. Aditya?
Okay, another difficult question. So I would say it's almost the same thing, like exchange of value कि आपने कुछ किया, उसके बदले में आपको कुछ मिला. So let's say if I were to give barter, so barter leaves you with no choice. Let's say if somebody works for me, and or if I work for someone, and the guy pays me with clothes and food, then it is his choice of clothes and food. But if I receive money, then I can buy my choice of clothes, food, or anything else which I want to buy with that money. So it's exchange of value where I receive some degree of freedom. That's my thinking about it.
I think all of you are right.
Mr. Sen, there is a comment.
Okay.
Before you give a definition, I want to read the comments as well. Because for today, the audience, you are also part of the podcast. Of course, you cannot join the meeting with us, but we will definitely treat you as equal members of the conversation, as you always do. I guess that goes without saying.
Yeah, I was going to say, when did we not?
Yeah, there we go. So Srishti Sona says, मनी लेने देने के लिए उसे किया जाता है और मनी के बिना हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते क्योंकि मनी से ही एजुकेशन ले सकते हैं और अपनी अदर प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. सो मनी इज इम्पोर्टेंट.
Yeah, so there you go. Anything else? Any other comments?
As of now, no.
Okay, the word salary goes back to the Roman times. And it is actually derived from the word salt, namak. Because in those days, when the Roman army used to take on people, they used to pay them by giving them a bag full of salt. Before, they gave coins and all that. And if you remember something, Gandhiji had one of the most famous marches in his whole, his whole career and Andolon is the Dandi March, which is to do with salt. So there you go. So there is a connection between money and salt. Interesting, isn't it?
That is very interesting, in fact. And do they teach you this in finance education? Like, so guys, for those who don't know, Mr. Sen is a cost and management accountant by qualification. So I just wanted to ask him, did he learn this on his own, or do they get taught this? So I just wanted to know, Mr. Sen, is it your interest in finance?
This is the fundamental chapter of economics.
Okay.
Like this is the basic, very basic.
Oh,
That's
so
why
did
I
you
said
learn it in school, or like did you learn it yourself?
class 11, we were introduced.
Okay, nice.
So now, we have got the two of them, right? Now, how do you, okay, the other thing is, how do you regulate money? Because salt in those days, earlier days, long time ago, was a very scarce commodity. Nahi milta tha. वो तो sea water say that is the only way you could make salt, and that was a very significant thing. So, and it was very valuable because without salt, a human being cannot survive. And actually, animals can also, right? Because animals, I don't know if you know this, animals, after they eat or whatever they do, they go and lick salt mounds because they need salt. And we all know that if saline in the body reduces, then our brain goes like disbalanced, and we may even die. It's a fact of life, right? So now, so we have money, we have salt. And since these are both valuable things, do we agree on that they're valuable?
Yes, very basic needs.
Okay. The first thing that I want to say on this valuable thing is anything that is valuable, anything that is scarce. Do you agree that these are scarce?
Yes.
Okay,
Hesitant yet though.
No, is it scarce? I mean, what do you mean when I say scarce? That means there's a limit of what is
Yeah,
there
there's a
as a
limit.
whole.
Yes. It's finite. Yes.
Samanth, do you agree? Samanth is gone. Vinayak nodded his head or shook his head. I don't know what he did, but he did something with his head. So, what is your thought on that?
Yes, sir. I think it's finite as well.
Okay. So the thing is, if there is anything finite, we need to regulate it. Why? Otherwise, it will finish. Correct? And you don't want it to finish just like that. It's like a tap water. So you open the tap when you need it, you close the tap when you don't need it, because the tank will get drain out, and then when you actually need it, you don't have it. True? So money follows the same concept as that. And there is one more thing. The regulation of money, which means the governance of money, is almost 2000 years old. It's the oldest governance structure that you can find in the world. Modern medical science came into being what, 500-600 years ago, not too much. But this money concept dated back to the Greeks early. Before that, it was barter. You're right, Aditya. So you do the bartering system and all that. So having said all that, so what do I mean by regulate? Which means there is a body, or there are bodies, who make sure there are standards by which you measure money. We're all aware of that, right? And do you know the best part?
I hope there is a best part with money.
Before that, I'll tell you what is it. So there is something called the central banks who regulate the money supply. We know that we have the Reserve Bank here, we have the Federal Reserve in the US, we have the central banks of all the countries. Each country has a central bank. Their job is to moderate the flow of money. They'll increase the flow or they'll decrease the flow. They are the tap. We all know that, right? And there are many tools in order to do that. But to manage that flow, so they do the flowing. To manage that flow, there is something called a double entry bookkeeping, a double entry accounting, a double entry recording. Now, what do I mean by double entry recording? Money has a very strange behavior. There's something that no other thing that I know of has. It multiplies. Aditya, do you agree to that concept? Money multiplies?
Money multiplies well. In most cases, what I have seen is money does not. But yeah, it's good to know that it does.
Okay. At a total level, money multiplies.
I'm still doubtful. I would love to know, how. Because genuinely speaking, I'm not sure of this. Because I would like to learn how
Very
does money
simple.
multiply.
You pay Aditya pays Vinayak and Samanth salary of 1 rupee each.
Okay.
He likes it. Okay. So Vinayak and Aditya, Samant, they get one rupee.
Hmm.
Now Samant, with that 1 rupee, goes and buys groceries for 50 paise. He buys petrol for 25 paise, and then the remaining 25 paise, what does he do? He spends it on his digital gadgets.
Okay.
So from Samant, the grocery guy gets 50 paise. That 50 paise, the grocery guy uses half of that to buy groceries to sell again. The remaining half, he spends on his or his daughter or son's education. Now you see there's a multiplying going on with your 1 rupee. It's creating value for different people at different things.
Yeah, I was initially about to say it is dividing, but yeah, the way it is creating value, that then it is multiplying. Yes.
Yeah. So same thing with Vinayak. Now, Vinayak might go in another direction. Instead of buying grocery, he'll do something else. So it starts multiplying. That's called a multiplying effect.
Mm-hmm.
And remember the first definition. Money is what money does. So if you take money and put it in the mattress and sleep on it, then it doesn't do anything, right?
True, true.
And that's where the value of money is destroyed.
So, Mr. Sen, my first question to you, because I really want to ask like a student, and I am a student of the subject. I'm still learning a lot about this, and I'm fairly, I'm fairly less knowledgeable about this. So, I hope my questions will be able to add some value to the audience. And the audience, please ask your questions also, because my questions might not be your questions. And we have an expert in finance with us today. We have him every day though, but yes, most of the times we are not talking about finance. So today we have the chance. So, Mr. Sai, my first question to you is obviously, we learned about the basics of money from you right now that, what does money mean? What does barter mean? And how money needs to be regulated. And there is one mantra you said, money is what money does. So, what should money do to multiply value in my life? Like, if I have money, how should I deal with this?
Spend
Should
it.
I spend it? Okay. Spend it where? And how should I manage my spending?
That's a different subject. We'll come to that. But before that, I wanted to talk about how do you actually account for this money? The way it's going, the way it's multiplying and all that, it will become chaotic, right? And nobody will know exactly what's happening to the money. It's all over the place, right? So what happened was many years ago, thousands of years ago, by the way, what was introduced was called the double entry way of recording this. That's very simple. It works on 3 simple rules. So there is something called a debit, there is something called a credit. For all the computers guys and all the engineers, the way to explain this is debit is always a plus, credit is always a minus, or whatever it is. Right? So it's a
Short
debit.
credit comes in, debit goes out, right?
No, debit comes in, credit goes out. Debit is what comes in, credit is what goes out. Debit is all your assets, credit is all your liabilities. Debit is the receiver, credit is the giver. And any combination of these 3 rules will give you the full accounting, and that's what accounting is all about, nothing else. That's it. So now, as we proceed further on this, I have noticed, and I was telling you all, that extremely good and bright people, top of the class, they are actually scared of money. They're scared to deal with it. They're scared to even wonder what to do with it. They're very scared. And why is that? Because they don't understand it. And from all the definitions that came in earlier, people think that without money, I'm lost, I'm gone, I'm finished, right? So they're very scared. Isko kho nahi jaye. Now, the thing is, if you do not understand what money is, then you'll always be scared. And if you're always going to be scared of money, it's like you're always scared of death.
Something that you have to deal with anyway.
You have to deal with it, you
Right.
like it or not. And what eventually happens is people listen to other people's advice on money without realizing that it is their money. So they have to understand it themselves first. They can listen to all the advice, but they have to deal with it themselves first. And to do that, you have to simply get over the fear of money. I have known extremely good mathematicians. You tell them to give them anything with money, put a rupee sign in front or a dollar sign in front, they'll run away. Simple arithmetic, they'll run away. They get scared. Now, I don't know if you have felt it. Aditya, have you come across people who are scared of money, dealing with money?
Yeah, there are many. Like there are people who want to earn a lot of money, but then they don't know how to deal with it. Most of them don't know. So there are people whom I have seen, especially people from our generation, from my generation exactly, where we don't really like to save. Now I don't know, I'll ask you this question also because I really want this podcast to give out some practical advice to people on how to deal with finance as a life skill because it is very important. And I think that's my opinion, guys. Please feel free to disagree. But my opinion is that my generation is extremely unskilled at dealing with finance. There are people earning 1 to 4 lakhs per month and spending it all. कहाँ खर्चा कर रहे हो? कुछ बचाओ, FD वगैरह कुछ या फिर कुछ invest करो. कुछ भी नहीं हो रहा है. So people are not investing any money. People are just spending it. Now spending it isn't bad if you really want life experiences, but there is no concept of resilience, which I think your generation did very well at. People from my parents' generation, people from the generation above that, they used to save up money. Yes, they did not used to invest it in like even any risk options. They would invest it in something like an FD or a post office or whatever. But they would save up some money for resilience sake. कि अगर आज को कुछ emergency आई like corona, if they lose their jobs or something happens, they have something to save themselves, which our generation sadly does not focus on. So yeah, there are people who are scared of money, and when I say scared of money, they're scared of dealing with it in the proper manner.
Right, and I want to ask you another question, Aditya. Now, with all your all the experience that you have with entrepreneurship, teaching them, and you're teaching the people to do a business and entrepreneurship. What do you find among them? Are they comfortable in dealing with money, or they are not?
Okay, so guys, if anyone who's watching is an entrepreneur or is an aspiring entrepreneur, कोई अपना खुद का business start करना चाहता है, dealing with money is of utmost importance. Because the top reasons for the failure of a startup includes this running out of money or not having enough money to take a further step. This is somewhere I have struggled personally a lot when I was starting off. And see, the struggle always continues, but now obviously I'm at a better place than I was when I started. So when I started, I'll tell you how I was scared of money. I had no money, obviously. So I gained my first paid customer after 6 months of genuine hard work, a bit of depression. Yes, I was also dealing with a bit of depression because I was just seeing the peers around me succeed at my age, where I was not doing anything, which produced any money. I was just doing a lot of effort, not earning any money. और उस time पे मेरे को दिख नहीं रहा था कि I'm laying roots. So there's this one paid customer who comes across and he's like, "What do you charge?" I quickly calculated the cost, and there's a difference between cost and price. Now you can obviously see that I'm not the best with finance. I messed up the credit debit thing also right now a bit earlier. So yeah, I'm not the best in finance. But what I did is I calculated the cost. मेरे को travel में कितना लगेगा, food में कितना लगेगा, सब कुछ करके मैंने add up किया. I pitched the cost जो मेरा खर्चा है as my price. So it came down to something like a 30 rupees per student. Now 30 rupees per student, people were like, इसमें आप travel भी cover कर लोगे? I was like, yes. इसमें आप accommodation भी cover कर लोगे? I said yes. Food, yes. They were like, यार ये तो बहुत ही बढ़िया offer है. So firstly, every state director then starts calling me from that organization. अरे पता है हमारा इस state पे भी project I was very happy over the top, very great. But then after a while I realized कि यार I actually pitched a price which does not make me any profits. तो फिर मैं बचाऊं, why am I doing this? मैं सिर्फ खर्चे चलाने के लिए कर रहा हूँ या फिर I am doing this to grow the enterprise? So that's one thing I realized, and that is when I actually asked, the company, and the company themselves called me, by the way. They are so generous, they called me up. They are like, Aditya, quality थोड़ी बढ़ा दो, अब price भी थोड़ा बढ़ा दो. 30 I think is too low for us also. So I increased the price. So that's how my journey started. So I was also scared of money. Pricing करना बहुत important है, to do the right price so that you get enough value for the work that you do. This thing I realized very late in life. And I think it's still not very late, but yeah, in my entrepreneurial journey, it's the third year. So I would still say this thing I realized very late. I hope you learned something from this experience, और आप अपने चीजों को right way में price करते हो, and when you get that money, you spend it in right expenditure, and not buying a Mercedes or a very good car to just fulfill your personal needs. Spend it for the company to make the company sustainable. These are two things I learned in a startup. So yes, that's been my experience, Mr. Singh.
That's a very interesting thing. Now, what he talked about, you see, money, as everybody said, all of you and including the audience, money is something that you use it something in exchange of whatever it is. I mean, the definition is money is what money does. So if you don't spend money, then money is useless. If money is not utilized for investment, it's useless. So what does money do? What does it do?
I've missed, I think, much of the last 15 minutes.
Yeah. You
There
had become a nomad. You were going from one place to the other.
It's a Wi-Fi problem.
No problem. So my thing
But I
was,
think I was listening a story. To answer the question, like, could you please repeat the question real quick?
so we said that money is what money does, right?
Yep.
So what does money do?
In my experience, and even me personally, I won't say this is for everyone, but a good majority of the population. And when we say good majority of the population, a good majority, you have the 1% owning more than the 99% combined or something. Money gives you confidence. Money gives you self-assurance.
Okay, Aditya.
Money, what does money do? Great question. Guys in the audience, again, please give your answers because I'm as confused as you are. Only Mr. Sen is the one who actually knows this stuff around here. So you don't need to worry. Okay, what does money do? I think money gives you confidence, as someone said. I totally agree with him. It gives you confidence. It gives you certain power to invest it in the way you want to. Yeah.
Okay, so far we have same things. Vinayak?
Yeah, so I think before this, we had a session where we talked about superpowers. And I think of money as a superpower, which gives you the freedom to satisfy some needs, not all, but a lot of your needs.
Okay. So now let's build on whatever you said. All three of you said more or less the similar things. Right. So what are you going to do with that confidence or that power? And here I want to say something. And it's a quotation from Charlie Chaplin. Yesterday I gave one, today I'm going to tell you one more. Charlie Chaplin has said, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact words. What he said is, you need power to harm someone. Otherwise, love is enough to get things done. I believe in that, by the way. So what he said was, you need power to harm someone or to do something harmful. Otherwise, love is enough for getting things done. Stop it there. Now tell me, what are you going to do with the power or the self-confidence?
I think with the confidence that you have, of course, if you have money, you have the confidence. Let's just pretend that it works. The formula works. money gives you confidence, and as Vinayak just said, and I said at the starting, it
Yeah, so
also
confidence and power. Okay, fine. Both of
gives
them.
you, and it also gives you a bit of freedom, because if you have
No, no, no.
money,
So what are you going to do with those 2, 3 things, whatever you said? Confidence, power, freedom.
it makes you a better person. It helps you grow. Now, it doesn't make you a better person. It helps you build yourself to become a better person.
Okay, so you
It
don't.
enables you.
Okay, great. So you don't agree with Charlie Chaplin. Fair enough. I think confidence, power, and whatever, freedom.
Right.
What will you do with it?
I'll exercise it in the most responsible manner, and to keep myself happy, the people around me happy, whatever I can buy through it or wherever I can invest it in. And yeah, that's about it. And probably I'll use it to make the society happy if I have enough.
Vinayak?
Okay, so if it is power, I want it to help me generate even more power and eventually
But what are you going to do with
certain
it?
needs,
What are you going to do with it?
satisfy certain needs of mine.
Eh. Okay, so you said satisfy certain needs. Aditya said do something good, responsible, good for the community. And someone said, what did someone say?
It enables you the opportunity to make yourself a better person.
Better
You may
person.
choose not to, but it enables you.
Okay, so all 3 of them are similar. Now, my next question is, how will it make you a better person? How will you be responsible with it? And how will you do something good for the community? And Vinay, as you said, what did you say, Vinay?
So I said it would satisfy some of my basic needs.
Okay, so how are you going to satisfy your basic needs? Let's start with
So
Vinayak now.
so when I talked about basic needs, what I mean is the basic stuff that every human being wants, like clothing, shelter, food. Um, I would say that money helps me achieve, or satisfy these needs, these particular needs,
How?
basic
How?
needs,
How?
because I can trade it for these commodities. So I can get money. I can exchange money for getting a house, getting food,
Okay,
getting
okay, okay.
clothes.
Hold it there. So you exchange money for getting a house. Good.
Yeah.
Aditya?
Same things, I think. Firstly, to fulfill my basic needs. Secondly, to fulfill maybe my family's
How?
basic needs.
How?
Um, so yeah, similar things. Whatever, house, food, car,
Okay.
whatever.
So you also say house, right?
Yeah, anything. It can be food also. Anything. Yeah, anything materialistic which satisfies our needs. It can be an experience, a service, or a product
We'll
that I
stay
can.
with the house. We'll stay with the house. It's simple. That's the
Sure.
first thing that comes to your Samant, how?
How will I use that money
Yep.
to build experiences and
Okay.
hopefully memories?
Hold it. That's it. Now, do you
And
realize
hopefully memories. That's it. Experience and hopefully memories. That's it.
memory is a different subject. We'll come to that later. Because memory is not between the years. Memory is a physical thing. Anyway, so you said you want to build experience. Now, have you guys realized you have said the same thing? What you have said is you're going to use money to build something, a house, or an experience. And what you're doing while building that something, you're actually building capacity. Now, what are you going to do with that capacity? You're going to use it to produce something, right? So that capacity is used to perform some activities. So money, what it does is it buys you capacity so that you can carry out some activities or some tasks. Does that make sense to you guys? What was that like?
I was like, I almost, if not the exact thing, almost similar. It gives you the freedom to do and learn things, or to
Yeah.
do.
So very specifically capacity, get a experience. Building experience is a capacity. A house is capacity, right? Which enables you to carry out some activities. So in the house, you can carry out the activity of staying, living, sleeping, taking care of yourself, right? It might even be running a business. Experience would be you have learned something and then you'll apply it in the way you do the work, activity. So it all boils down to what are the activities you can do. And money gives you that source of the capacity to do those activities. You go to a very good college, university, degree, certificate, or whatever, costs you some money, right? And you're increasing your capacity about a certain subject which you're going to utilize to carry out doing some activities. Does it make sense?
It does, Mr. Sen. However, I have a question,
Sure.
and I
I
want.
must warn you over here. Like that day I said, you have 3 types of questions. So go
Sure.
ahead. I hope you remember that.
Yeah. I'm not, and that's why I'm asking this. So we understood what money helps us do. Now I would really want to understand its application in terms of how I can use that money in the best manner. Like, is there any
Ah,
actionables we can start getting now?
ah, that's very interesting. So the first step was to understand that money gives you capacity to do some activities. Now, some of the activities we do add some value, right? It can add value to yourself or to someone else, to your parents, to your family, to somebody else. Correct? You can do some activities so that it helps you to stay on this earth and this world and in this country the way you are, which means it helps you to meet some things that you need to do to meet the law of the land. That's an activity, right? Tax bharna hai, ye karna hai, wo to activity hai na? And there is one more piece of activities that we all do, which is wasteful activities or activities that don't add to anybody else. So the trick is to understand which activities don't add value, right? And to look and understand how you can minimize them or remove them, eliminate them.
Okay, so there was a wasteful activity, and the other activity was productive, right?
Value, yeah.
Yeah, valuable activity. Let's make this a bit interesting. If you allow me, can we group it? Can we
Okay.
do that?
But I'll have to first explain to you what do I mean by a non-value activity.
Sure.
Now there's this guy who's an expert in value activities and non-value activities. He knows it. He's the world's biggest expert. So he goes to the market and he looks at some bananas. Have you guys bought bananas?
Yes, a lot.
Someone is again frozen.
Yeah.
So in bananas, what do you eat? The banana or the whole banana with the skin? Correct. So the value that you get from the banana is after you peel off the skin.
Very true.
So this guy, he says, "Wow, that's
Well,
interesting."
one thing,
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Sen, if you have a garden or a plant, you can use the peel as manure.
No. Hold on. You're in the market. You're not in the garden. You're in the market, and you're paying some money to buy that banana.
But I appreciate the creative thinking. That's it.
No. I'll come back to that. But that is important. So this guy who's the expert, he knows, and he sees that when you buy a banana, sometimes they sell you by the dozen, sometimes they sell you by the kg, right? Depending on where you are. So here in this market, They were selling by the kg. So ये बंदा बहुत smart था. So what he did was, he said, boss, why should I pay for this skin? It's not adding any value to me. Only the banana, the inside fruit is adding value. So he sat down, he took out all the skins, and when he took it to the thing, because the weight was less, he said, I'll pay less money. Because he thought that I should eliminate non-value stuff totally. But what life tells us is you do need some sort of non-value added activities to protect your activities that add value. Now go ahead with your rapid fire.
Now that's amazing, because that is a great learning, I think, that there are some non-value activities which go to protect certain value activities.
That's what someone said. He'll use it as manure, right?
Yeah. Right.
That's the example.
Okay, so Mr. Sen,
Someone is frozen.
yeah, his Wi-Fi is acting up a bit, but I think he must be able to listen to us, hopefully. So, Mr. Sen, my first question. I work a job going every week, Saturday, Sunday, every week just for 2 days to a pub and spending on obviously overpriced drinks and overpriced food. But yeah, it gives me an experience. Value or non-value?
What do you think?
I think it's that kind of a non-value activity which protects the value activity, now that you've defined it that way.
Okay. So what is it's creating? What are you actually going there for? What are the activities that you do there?
I don't do, but yeah, in this example, I am enjoying that, and it's an experience that I'm getting.
No, so what is the experience?
Experience of enjoying with my friends. So it's kind of a getaway with my friends.
You got it. Yeah. So basically, you're building relationships outside your job. Now, you can go to the pub and drink a glass of water. That's fair enough. Or you can go to the pub and drink the whole bar that is there. That's also fair enough. If you can do that, that is. But basically, you're there to build a relationship outside your job environment. So you can do that in the pub, or you can do it in a coffee shop, or you can do it with your friend, wherever. Right? So the question is building a relationship outside your job value adding to your life or not?
Okay, great. Spending on books. That's an easy one, but still, just asking.
Spending on books is buying a capacity.
Buying a capacity.
It's not an activity. So you're actually creating a capacity of a book. The activity would be reading it and applying it. Or what you learn. So reading it, learning it, and applying what you learn.
So is anything material that you acquire? So see, books, house, these are positive things, right? Or you might say that house is a liability, but ultimately it gives you shelter.
Debit and credit, I told you, no?
Yeah.
Debit is asset, credit is liability.
So
yeah, it all balances out.
Yeah, so house might be a liability, but at least it gives me shelter. So in that way, it's positive. Car might be a liability.
House is not a liability because the value of your house will be always greater than the liability that you owe to the bank or wherever.
Right. I would just like to address one very interesting audience comments. Shrishti says, "Banana to darjan mein hota hai na, kilo mein kaise?" So the way kind of
so somewhere, as I said, somewhere you can buy it in dozens. Somewhere you can buy it in kgs. It's in India also.
Yeah, in India also. So Shrishti, Bangalore में मैं जनरली 10 से 11 बनाना फिट हो जाते हैं, तो घूम फिर के वही बात आ जाती है. बट कई किलो में भी बिकता है, बट मोस्टली मैंने अपनी लाइफ में भी दर्जन में ही खरीदे हैं.
But it's a simple example to demonstrate what is a value and what is a non-value.
हाँ, like story में वो ज़्यादा important था, but good question.
No, that's a good question, of course.
Yeah. So, Mr. Sen, also I want to ask you, like, so getting a car, getting a house, getting a book, these are all capacity building, activities. Also, these are like you build your capacity through money. Now, is acquiring anything good capacity building?
What do you think?
Probably not. There are some things which might have a negative connotation.
Okay, not negative. Let us say that it is not a capacity.
Right.
So give me an example.
Let's say, okay, I'll give you an example. I want to build a really nice muscular body. I go to the market, I buy 15 protein shakes, 15 like big, large kind of, protein. How do you even say that? Like protein powder,
Whey
jars.
protein bottles.
हाँ,
The
प्रोटीन पाउडर जार्स, लेट्स से, या बॉटल्स, आई बाय अ लॉट ऑफ देम, कि हाँ आज से तो जिम जाना शुरू, मैं हर रोज प्रोटीन शेक बना के पीऊंगा. वो वहां पड़े पड़े सड़ जाते हैं. Is that capacity? Like, did I build the right capacity? So that can be negative, probably.
That is ideally, idle, बेकार का capacity. So if you don't use
no,
the
but then Aditya,
if you don't use that capacity, then you have wasted that capacity. Hello.
Yes, Mr. Sen. So basically, I was asking, we should not build idle capacity, right?
Well, you will not know whether you're building idle capacity or not. That's the best part of the whole thing.
So how do you invest then to make sure that you don't build idle capacity? What all checks and balances you need to do?
So you have to do something called planning. So you have to understand what you need and what you don't need. What you want to do and why you want to do that, and for that, what you need. So we call it in many words. So anything that is short term, we call it a budget. Anything that is medium term, we call it a financial plan to build more capacity. And if it's a long term, we call it a business plan to do whatever it is. In short.
Great. My last question to you, before, if we receive any audience questions, we'll address that, because today has been a very nice session and we have learned a bit about money and how to manage it. Even though in abstract terms, I think we can put it to practice through this one question. And the question is, so we learned about capacity building, we learned about activities which we can do through money, and these can be value and non-value activities. Obviously, the term being कि non-value नहीं करना है, value ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा करना है.
Non-value को थोड़ा reduce करना है.
Non-value को reduce करना है जितना हो सके. But yeah, if that non-value covers the value activities, something like a peel of the banana, जिसको आप खाते नहीं हो, जिसको आप डायरेक्टली यूज नहीं करते, बट अगर आपने वो पील निकाल दिया तो बनाना बहुत जल्दी सड़ जाएगा. सो वो पील की भी जरूरत है. So this is a non-value activity that covers your value activity, something which you used to enjoy, but then don't just enjoy, invest it somewhere in value-giving activities also, experiences which teach you something, which make you learn something in any capacity. And then there is capacity building. Now, Mr. Sen, when I asked you ki idle capacity building ke bare mein, ki buying something which I might not use, so you said planning. My final question is, do you suggest a framework or a style of planning which will help me understand, firstly, how not to indulge too much in non-value activities, and which will help me understand how not to build idle capacity, to build capacity which I will actively use?
Okay, that's very simple actually. Normally, we do 50% of our activities which add value, and the other 50% we do activities that don't add value. Now, the 50% that doesn't add value, out of that, a certain portion you can actually reduce. So you have to figure out which are the values, which are the activities that. So I'm going to give you a framework of how to deal with this. What I said, Aditya, was in a general way, 50% of the activities you do will add value. The other 50% will not add value. As simple as that. But at the end of the day, you will still have around 20-25% of activities that you're going to do which will not add value. But that is something that is acceptable. That is okay. That's good. So now the framework I'm going to tell you is you have all the activities. So you look at the activities that you do. So you can write down the activities you do in a day. So you can keep a diary. I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this, whatever it is. And then you can put I'm adding value, I'm not adding value. I'm doing this because I have to. It is required by the law of the land. So law of the land stuff you have to do. It's like part of the value added. Okay. The others, if you list down on a daily basis for 1 week, let's say you do it for 1 week. You get up in the morning, brush your teeth, value added. You get up in the morning, have breakfast, value added. Stuff like that. But don't laugh, it works. So now you look at which of these activities you can eliminate or remove. Which of these activities you can reduce? Which of these activities you can increase? And if you have eliminated or reduced some activities, then you have some capacity. So in our lives, what is our capacity? 24 hours in a day, right? Out of which we divide that into different things. So sleeping is a value-added activity. 8 to 9 hours goes there. If it goes to 13, 14 hours of sleeping, then you say, no. Hello. The remaining 4-5 hours is actually not value adding.
The remaining 4-5 parts is, I think, non-value adding.
Yeah. So it's like that, So then you look at activities you want to introduce. So you can do it for your life, your day. You have to keep a log. You have to keep a, what do you call it, a diary or something. And you say, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. And you do it for 1 week or 10 days, and you will get a fair idea of what happens in a day, right? So you can reduce or remove, add or increase. And then you'll strike a balance and you'll go forward. And then you will know which capacity is being utilized in what activity. It'll also tell you if I have to introduce a new activity, मेरे को कुछ नया capacity ले आना है or I already have it. It's possible you already have it, or it's possible you might want to have to get something new. For example, you get a new project to teach entrepreneurship to somebody in a new state somewhere.
Yeah, let's say.
Now, so to carry out those activities, you check with yourself and you see that I don't have enough capacity. I might have to recruit or hire 2 or 3 additional people. That's capacity you're adding on. Because those people will then do the activities of, teaching all the entrepreneurships that are there. Or you might say that I actually have capacity because I'm finishing a project in Haryana. And then that capacity will become idle. So I can reroute or whatever it is, reuse that capacity to work in Karnataka. So that's the planning that you have to do. I mean, that I've tried to be as simple as possible.
And that actually helps because, guys, I think what we learned from today's session, and I think I am also learning, so I can draw some summary out of this and see if it works out for you. हमें जरूर बताना आपको कुछ समझ आया कि नहीं, लेकिन या फिर आपको मेरी बात सही भी लगी कि नहीं, गलत लग सकती है, because completely I am also a new learner to this topic. So what I understood from what Mr. Sen said today, like the basic part of it, obviously we defined money and kind of, we defined how it is different from barter and how it gives us the ability to build capacity. And then we talked about capacity building. We talked about value and non-value activities. Just knowing this theory, if you plan it down, अगर आप अपने हफ्ते के दौरान या महीने के दौरान या साल के दौरान सारी एक्टिविटीज लिखो, किधर आप इन्वेस्ट कर रहे हो, क्या क्या आप सीख रहे हो, what all are you doing to gain experience, what all are you doing to learn, what all are you doing to multiply that money for yourself, and what all are non-value but cover value for you. In the sense that if you don't, right? In the sense that if you don't do it, तो आपका वैल्यू एक्टिविटीज भी कम हो जाएगा, या फिर आपके वैल्यू एक्टिविटीज में से भी देयर विल बी सर्टेन concentration which will be gone. If you just list it down and try to maximize the value activities, let us say आपने सोच रखा है मैं गिटार सीखूंगा. Just giving an example from what I understood. Obviously, buying a guitar takes investment of money. And buying whatever comes with it, getting the strings repaired, the plectrums and all that. And probably learning guitar is another service-based investment you'll have to do, because there are very few people who can learn from online. If you're learning online, then probably an online course will be your investment if you don't get it for free. So ये सारे investment are value investments because they'll keep your mind happy. It's a productive activity and it's a value activity. It teaches you something and you can live your hobby, or maybe you can become a professional if you are looking at it that way. घूमने में जा रहा है, which somehow you feel is lesser value to you than learning guitar. You know it in your head, but somehow you've been spending a lot of time and money there. So you can lower the time there and add more time and money to this value activity. So this also teaches me about time investment and money investment together, because time you can also teach as use as something which builds your capacity. And that, I think, is the beauty of this theory, that just the practice of writing this down, as Mr. Sain said, in a diary, value activities, non-value activities, the capacity I want to build, will be really helpful. What do you think, Mr. Sain? Could I explain correctly?
Yeah, and whatever you want to decrease, remove, add, or increase. Yeah. And you said time, right? Time is capacity, and is it the most scarce capacity that we all have? Because our time is limited. I mean, we are, 80 years, 90 years, at best 100 years? Right? That's it. After that, we are not there. We are not on this earth anymore. So time is the most valuable thing. And time is actually equal to money. Money is equal to time, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah, time is money, as they say. And there is a time value of money, which I read about in some book. That's a topic for another day. But there is a time value of money.
Okay. But time is money, because if money can buy capacity, money cannot buy time. That's the only thing that money cannot do. Money cannot buy time.
Absolutely.
So money and time are same.
Absolutely.
So you have to look at your time as money in the bank. Rupee value, dalna hai, then only you will know the significance of time.
So guys, a lot of learning here. Just the simple exercise of planning where you invest. Now I'll add two things: money and time. Where you invest your money, where you invest your time. If you just group it down into these three things: buying or gaining capacity, building capacity, more importantly, building capacity, value activities, non-value activities, just listed down whatever you do into one of these three categories. You get to make the decision what is value, what is non-value for you. And obviously there's an inner conscience which will make you understand what is value and non-value for you. If you trust that inner conscience and write very well कि जब मैं पैसा ला रहा हूँ, and I'll do this, I'll personally also do this now, जब मैं पैसा कमा रहा हूँ उसमें से कितना मैं बचाऊँ, कितना मैं इन्वेस्ट करूँ, कितने को मैं स्पेंड करूँ, spend as in spend on experiences and activities, as Mr. Sain said, और कितने को, like, so how do I use it basically? The investment, the savings, and the spending part of it. So yeah, with this, I would like to call it a day. Today's podcast has been an amazing learning experience for me personally also. So thank you, Mr. Sain, so much for your insights. Guys, if you have any questions, please do ping us in personal message.
But I want to say at the end that Srishti ji was absolutely right. Buying banana is in a dozen, but that's the simplest example I could think of.
Yeah. So, and thank you so much for sticking with us. So what I was about to say is today was the 89th podcast. For those of you who are watching and who have been our regular viewers, thank you so much for sticking with us through this journey. We are, making it a streak. So another 11 podcasts to go before we take a break. So yeah, please do attend all the podcasts. Great, interesting topics coming ahead. And yeah, I think Samat is back with us, so I'll leave the job best done to him, the outro.
Actually, to be honest, क्योंकि मैं इस conversation का part नहीं था, I think it would be justifiable if you do it क्योंकि you are an active part. I'll leave it to you for today.
Great.
Yeah,
So guys,
so-
with my summary already done, I'll just use Saman's lines and plagiarize it completely because that's a really good message he gives at the end. So guys, stay home, stay safe, follow all the precautions to stay safe from corona because right now it's the utmost importance. People have lost patience, but right now actually it is much more important to stay safe and take all the precautions. Take care of yourself and your family members. Keep learning, keep enjoying, and we'll see you tomorrow at the same time at Probono's Daily Life Career Guidance podcast. Follow our page and like our page for post notifications so that you can stay updated with all our live updates. Bye bye.